Hello there everyone, Mike Alexander here, and thank you for joining us. Now, did you know that the position of the right arm in the golf swing is absolutely essential for creating consistent and solid ball striking? So many amateur golfers get the right arm in this position right here, where it's kind of flat here, and what that results in is that dreaded flip of the wrist so that you can get the club down to the ball. If you look at it from here, if I was to rotate from here, I'm going to completely miss the ball, so I've got to throw the wrists down, and I'm going to get that dreaded flip leading to poor contact, whether you're going to get the duff shot, the thin shot, and even if you do strike it, you're not going to be able to control your direction or your flight very well. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly the position that the right arm needs to be in and how the right wrist, plays a huge role in your efficiency and your contact with that golf ball so that you can ultimately strike it so much better, it's so much more consistent and pretty much like a golf pro. Now, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I release videos like this every single week, and I always leave a link in the description, a free link to my free drills locker, which contains a whole load of drills that are going to help you fix any problems that you might have in your golf swing. Okay, so what we need to see is we need the right arm to be in this position here. So what you can see is that the right arm is almost pointing down towards the golf ball or just outside it there. You can also see that the right wrist is still bent, and you can see that the club face angle matches my spine angle. From this position, you're going to be able to continue with the hips, you're going to be able to release the club correctly where your arm can straighten out, but you can see that the club head has not overtaken my wrists. So I'm going to be able to get the correct strike, the correct attack angle. Now, before we get into that, there are a few fundamental checkpoints that we need to have in order to get into this position. First thing is we need to make sure that we have a fingers grip. So we've got an opposing forces fingers grip. That's going to allow us to use the wrists correctly in the swing. These wrists are really going to help us get into these positions and also create more speed. So we need to have opposite forces where the club is being held in the fingers of both hands. We also need to make sure that we are in the correct setup. So this setup drill is really good. Bending from the hip, taking 2 steps. The ball position then must be in the middle for this mid-iron, softening the knees slightly and having the pressure on the balls of feet. When we're in this setup, we're going to be able to stay in our posture better, which means we're going to be able to keep the arms connected to the body throughout the swing. And as we transition, we're going to be able to get the club in this great position so that we can release it correctly. So now we are in this setup. You can see also in setup that the inside of my elbow is pointing out towards you in the camera. It's not out like this. That's going to make it very difficult to get the right arm in the correct positions. It's pointed in and my arms are very much tucked in and pinched at my armpits there. So then we work into takeaway. Now where we need to see this in takeaway is right here. You can see the right arm hasn't bent, the left arm hasn't bent. I've essentially, if you look at it from face on, you can see I'm just moving my arms out of the way of my right leg and my body. So my arms are just getting out of the way, and from here, then we can start to use the wrists correctly to get that arm in the right position. So now that we're here in this position in the takeaway, you've got to watch and got to check that. You can also see there that the club face is still matching my spine angle, so the club face is square. From here, we're going to see that we're using the wrists to set the club, okay? And as we do that, the right hip is going to turn. But what you can see is that this connection of my right arm, it's staying right in on my side. It's staying right in on my rib cage there, which is extremely important. I've got the club here, I've got the arm connected, the left arm is still straight, and then from there I'm going to be able to rotate to the top of my backswing. Here you can see that the right arm is still in a really great position. It's still connected to my body, and you can see that the right wrist is still bent here like this to about 50 degrees, okay? A lot of people are here with their right arm, and you'll see what that does is that makes the left wrist cup like this, which is a very popular position for a lot of amateur golfers. And from there they get out here. You can see that flat right forearm position, and then they have to flick the wrists. So we have to make sure that we're able to set here. We can turn to a connected position, and then we're going to be able to transition. And as we transition that lower body, we have to keep our arms in position connected to our body. We don't want the arms to get out on their own, because as soon as the arms go out on their own, if they start that downswing, this right forearm is going to start to go flat again instead of being at that angle where it's pointing down towards the golf ball. So we're here, we start to transition, we're going to keep our upper body where it is, and as the hips start to unwind towards the golf ball and then towards the target, that's going to get the right arm into this position, into this delivery position where it's ready to be released. And the wrist is still bent to that 50-degree angle, and I'm going to be able to straighten the arm out and get that pressure onto that golf ball, but also use my hands and use my arms to create that final bit of speed to send that ball away. What a lot of people do is they feel like if they're in this position, they just got to turn, they just got to rotate, and they need to try and keep that angle as long as possible. But at impact, we don't want to keep that bent arm position, because then we have to be way down here, and you'd have to be an extremely talented athlete to get down there and extremely flexible. Where we're going to be is in this delivery position, and from there then the hips will unwind. Then I'll start to throw the right arm down at it. I'll release these wrist angles and I'll strike down, catching the ground just after the ball and through to an extended finish position. So that's what we're looking for. Here, here, there. So if you can really master, even just from a halfway position, feeling the transition with the legs, coming through to this extended halfway follow through, you're going to strike the ball so much better. When I give people this drill in my online lessons or in my online academy, I have all of these drills. People come to me and say, Mike, I can hit my iron so much further with this little half swing drill than I can with my full swing. And it's because they get very arm and wrist dominant. Now the arms and wrist obviously have a role to play, but we need them to come in at the right time. So they start the swing, the wrist set the club, then it's hips and body to the top, then it's hips to transition, pressure moves to the left side, everything starts to unwind, and at the last minute then the arms and the wrists come into action so that we can actually release and strike that golf ball. So let me hit one here with this little half swing drill. So I'm just going to go to here, and then I'm going to go through to that extended follow through position. And wait till you hear the strike. The ball is just so well pressurized, comes out with a really nice flat flight. I'm not launching it way up into the sky with loads of spin on it and losing control. Coming out low, I'm extending my arms, and I'm really able to use my hand speed as well properly to get that ball to fly. So what I would recommend doing for everybody watching is starting off checking your grip, making sure you've got it in the fingers, because if we hold it in the palms, it's very hard to get the wrists to set properly. So we're in the fingers, then we're going through our setup drill, getting in the correct spine angle posture, making sure our legs aren't too bent. We have pressure on the balls of feet, because that's where we've got balance. Then we're going into checking the takeaway position and just working it back without letting the wrists get involved here. Takeaway, then set and turn to this halfway position, and then you want to feel that pressure move into your front side as you rotate the hips, and then you can release the hands through to that beautiful extended halfway position and get the strike you're after. It's so consistent. And then once you've done that, I mean, with a bucket of balls, let's say you get 90 balls, I would expect you to do that about 70 balls. And then the last 20, you can go into your full swings, and then you'll really feel the difference of doing that drill for so many shots in your practice. So guys, that's the importance of the positioning of the right arm and how the wrists work in the golf swing. And you can see as well how the fundamentals affect that and how what we do in the backswing affects getting into that delivery position. So that'll do us for today. Now please leave a comment, let me know if this has helped you, let me know what else you want to see on the channel. And yeah, if you're new here again, please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of the future videos. We're going to be releasing multiple videos every week. And again, there's the drills locker, there's a link for that in the description, you can check that out. And yeah, if you've been here before and you're continuing to watch the videos, I appreciate your support, and I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.